So today we're sitting in probably the best location I've set foot in our 4 years of podcasting. So we're in the penthouse of the Atlantis The Royal, or Atlantis Royal for anyone watching this.
Atlantis The Royal.
Atlantis The Royal.
If we consider the Atlantis brand, it's very experiential as well as the experience that a guest would have when they stay here is incredible in terms of the food and beverage offering, all of the experiences that are available, spa treatments that are available.
So Cyro is going to be launching in the UAE, worldwide?
That's right. So the very first property will be opening at the end of this year.
Okay.
Cyro Wanzabil here in Dubai, which is very, very exciting. And we're super excited about the ability to now welcome everybody to the brand.
Today's special edition, we are with Jonathan Tomlinson, who is... What's your role at Kerzner?
So Senior Vice President for our branded residential and private homes.
See, I knew that already, but I wanted to give yourself a nice intro into the podcast. So today we're sitting in probably the best location I've set foot in our 4 years of podcasting. So we're in the penthouse of the Atlantis The Royal, or Atlantis Royal for anyone watching this.
Atlantis The Royal.
Atlantis The Royal. So overlooking the seas, overlooking the Palm Jumeirah. This is classed as, I would say, in my opinion, currently the best resort in the world. Now, I don't know if you guys can make that statement as Kerzner, but as a resident, as a homeowner in the residences, I think we should congratulate you guys in terms of what you've done.
Well, thank you. And I think we would most definitely agree that it is the best ultra-luxury resort in the world.
Yeah.
Recently opened and, so far just to incredible acclaim.
So big question I've got for you then. Did you meet Beyonce? Let's start with that.
Did I personally?
Did you?
No. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to invite Beyonce personally. However, I was here.
You made it,
the grand reveal, and just saw the spectacular performance as well. So
when we launched that, obviously your role, we talked a little bit off camera. You are sales to marketing to overseeing the development, pretty much birth to death of the whole development, effectively. I think one of the cleverest things that Kerzner has done, which we'll get into in Atlantis The Royal, is bring across multiple worldwide and local social celebrities from Instagram. Do you think that was a good move from your point in terms of a marketing campaign to bring out? Because when I was looking on the stories, there were Russians with 5 million followers, and there was Mark Wright from the UK and his partner, what's her name? Mark and Michelle Keegan, and there was people from France, and you look at them and they have millions and millions of followers. Now how much money would you pay back in the day for a TV advert like that? Was that a move that you guys put together when you were going to launch?
It was definitely strategic, and also how we look at the opening of each property is also relevant to the actual brand. So if we consider the Atlantis brand, it's very experiential as well as the experience that a guest would have when they stay here is incredible in terms of the food and beverage offering, all of the experiences that are available, spa treatments that are available. So we align very much those sorts of celebrities to the actual brand ethos. If we were to look at it from, let's say, a one and only perspective, which is our ultra luxury brand more geared towards resorts, it's a little bit more of a sort of tranquil, pristine type of brand. So we wouldn't necessarily go with a performer to the scale of Beyonce or to the fame of Beyonce.
Who would you go for then?
Of that one.
Like we're talking like a 90s act that's now not in the charts. What would you go for?
It would, and it would also depend on the location.
The clientele is different though, isn't it? I suppose the one and only to the Atlantis. The only way I could describe it, I've been to both. I've been to, obviously, the Atlantis, and I've been to one and only, went to the Ritiva in the Maldives, and I've been to multiple places. And what you can see is, you said it a minute ago, the clientele is so different. I mean, if you talk about the Atlantis The Royal, for me, someone asked me how's the best way to describe it, I would say this is a world-class entertainment resort, where the one and only, I would say, is a super luxury, more mature clientele. Would you say that's on the money?
Definitely. I think we see different types of guest profiles as well as homeowner profiles that appeal to the Atlantis brand or to the one and only brand. And we have also a guest profile that appeals to both, depending on what they may aspire or may actually desire to want to have as part of their stay.
Okay.
Our Atlantis experiences will definitely revolve more around a lifestyle, the experiences that are available at the resort, and everything is literally available here for you. So you can spend your entire vacation here at Atlantis The Royal without really ever needing to leave the property. Of course, we would also encourage our guests to visit Dubai a little bit because it has so much to offer and such an incredible place as well. And then if we look at one and only, maybe it's a little bit more of a tranquil sort of experience. Again, there is a higher degree of privacy that exists within the profile of guests when they look to stay, and perhaps what they're looking for as part of their stay does vary between both of those types of brands as well.
Yeah, I think you're pretty much mirroring where I see it as well, and I think a lot of people do see, and you can see with the clientele. So before I go on to, I want to touch on Kerzner in a minute in terms of what they do, because people know the Atlantis. Kerzner's not actually the name that people know unless you're in the know. So I want to touch a little bit on Kerzner in a minute, but before we go on to Kerzner, what I want to ask you, this is again from the man that was from birth till death. We're not saying he's dead, by the way, the birth till finish, till the project's finished. Where do you see the line between when you launched the Atlantis The Royal to the original Atlantis? Did you ever have any concerns that you'd be losing customers from the resorts, or do you think there was just a marketplace there? What was the conversations behind closed doors?
I think in the sense of being able to introduce another Atlantis product to Dubai is also for a slightly different type of experience that the guest will require. So Atlantis the Palm, the very original here, it's now a little bit more family focused as well, but equally as impressive in terms of the experiences that are going to be available for guests and for families, and particularly for children that are available here. When we look now at Atlantis the Royal, it's slightly elevated in terms of the experiences that our guests will have here, the level of stay that they will have here as part of the experience, the design of the room, what's included as part of the stay and on offer here also. So there is a little bit of a difference in terms of how we position both of those.
And
properties.
pricing, I suppose, is also.
Pricing is also a little bit different, but they also are still essentially have access to the incredible water park, the largest water park in the world that divides both of the properties. So that integrates really nicely into both Atlantis the Palm and now Atlantis the Royal. So it enables both guests in either of those properties to also be able to have that incredible water park experience, which is so desirable, particularly for families that come to Dubai and to the Atlantis as well.
No, I do agree. When we look at the resort as a whole, one of the big points for the Atlantis the Royal is Milos. It's quite an interesting one for me. I'd like to hear from your point of view on this, because I think I'm quite well travelled. I've been around America, Europe, you name where I've been. London, I have a house in London, live in Dubai. Milos was a really surprising one that would take the centre focal point of the Atlantis Royal, really overlooking the fountains. The fountains are the first ever water fire fountains in the UAE, if I'm not mistaken. Is that the correct statement to make?
Right.
See,
Another first.
Another first, yeah. So how did Milos get such an important port, and how do you pick such a pivotal role for a restaurant to get that pivotal role?
Yeah, I think a lot of it goes into balancing the offer that's available here at Atlantis The Royal. So we have such a large food and beverage offering as well, from very fine dining to more casual dining across the portfolio of restaurants as well. So when we look at something like Milos, I mean, Greek culinary experiences are incredible. It resonates very well with the property. It resonates very well with Dubai and the climate that exists here. Very similar to Nobu by the beach. You know, the very first Nobu by the beach, again, exists here at Atlantis Royal. So it was, again, finding those right balances at the property to ensure that we have the maximum enhancement for
it's such a big risk, isn't it, for, let's say, Milos, in terms of buying. I mean, how many square foot is Milos off the top of your head? Would you ever?
Oh, good question.
Oh, there you go. I threw one at you there.
Yeah, you definitely did. I could be totally wrong.
I'm going to say 20,000 square feet.
Yeah, probably around about, I would say. If you include the total area, maybe the back of house and the kitchen area.
It's such a massive, I mean, the way I look at the Atlantis is when you're a tenant, as in a restaurant renting it, you're really leveraging on the footfall of the hotel, really delivering the goods. And I think that we talked about this earlier, is that it's getting really busy out there on the not the promenade, the lower ground. I don't know what you guys would call that in Kerzner, but the restaurant and the strip. There's so much people and activity and music going on now that I think the people will be happy.
Yeah, exactly. And we're really starting to see there's an incredible atmosphere. I mean, we've been open now for the best part of about a month, and just arriving here when we're in the lobby, I mean, just the atmosphere and just the amount of guests that are in the property as well, having, taking different selfies, posting onto Instagram of all the different architectural impressions that exist here, as well as, not also their experiences that they're having when they go to some of the restaurants or they enjoy other aspects of the property. So there's so much that is on offer here for everybody, and then that's within the resort. But then when you look at the view corridors here, looking out to the Palm, looking out to the Gulf, you've got those dual aspects in a lot of rooms. Where we're sitting here in the penthouse, I mean, it's the views are just incredible to be able to see over the Palm and out over the Gulf here, and it just has so much for everyone.
So let's get on to Kerzner. This is the big one I want to get onto, because there's a lot of questions. When the Atlantis The Royal was launching and going through their PR phase, and I said before, everyone knew who, and this is my story for how I ended up finding about Kerzner. Kerzner's obviously a massive company, but when I was interested in investing in Atlantis, I knew the Atlantis, and then on the bottom there you see the Kerzner on the sign. I was like, okay, Kerzner. And then I was looking at an investment for a friend of mine in the one and only Zabeel One.
Okay.
And again I was like, oh, one and only. And the bottom again I saw Kerzner, and I started to do some genuine research about where you guys are, what your placement is, and how your business looks and sets up. What would be interesting for anyone watching this, really, tell us about what Kerzner is, because it's such a big brand, or you've got so many big brands underneath you. We'd like to know a little bit about that.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, the original origins and the foundation obviously starts with Sol Kerzner, who, for those that don't know Sol Kerzner, I mean, in terms of the hospitality space, is one of the most incredible visionaries that ever existed, and created properties like Atlantis, as well as the very first one and only properties. Our oldest one and only property now in Mauritius, in the St. Geron, opened in 1975. So he always had that incredible vision to be able to create new ultra luxury destinations. And if we look at the portfolio, particularly of one and only, we will see that a lot of the resort locations that we have are in these very unique, untouched locations that people just have these incredible one-of-a-kind type of experiences. So that vision that originally came from Sol Kerzner many, many, many years ago now lives on through Kerzner now as a company that is moving in a direction of continuing in creating ultra-luxury and luxury experiences in very unique destinations around the world, with very much the focus and as our company I suppose title or brand would be creating amazing experiences and everlasting memories. And that applies to all of the brands of which we have today, being Atlantis One and Only, our new Cyro brand, which is heavily focused around fitness, recovery.
So let me touch on Cyro. So I've got some questions about Cyro. So you talk about wellness and fitness and the hotel side of it. So is it ready?
Is the brand ready?
Yeah.
So absolutely it is. So we have our first opening, which is at One Zabeel. So here in Dubai, very first Cyro opening will happen towards the end of this year.
Okay.
So we're very, very excited about that. And that truly is going to be a way, because we've been talking about and introducing Cyro into the market for the best part of about a year since the brand launched. We've been talking a lot about our strategic partnerships and ambassadors that we work with. So AC Milan, we're working very closely with AC Milan as a partner of theirs to really understand and learn more about the sports science.
So what will Cyro do though? I mean, give us some examples of what you see it offering to someone that's visiting the brand.
Sure. So it really is focused around fitness, wellness, and recovery. So particularly for those people that are very health conscious, wellness conscious, just maybe ensure that whatever they're doing in their own lives around perhaps their own fitness program, their own nutrition program, a lot of what they're doing, we can then extend that and incorporate that into the Cyro experience. But even during their Cyro experience and after their Cyro experience, that continues. So they continue to monitor their nutrition plans. They can continue to access a lot of the technology that we have around fitness, recovery, wellness. So all of that is very much the core pillars of the guest experience when they stay at a Cyro property.
So you've got in, again, I'm going to test your knowledge here, by the way, because, and I don't mean to test your knowledge, but I just need to try and figure out. In the Atlantis Hotel, there is a very similar style cryo chambers, things like that. What is that? What's that called? And is it going to be similar to that? Because that's what a lot of people are looking for. They're looking for the anti-aging. I know it sounds crazy. They're looking for ways to find out their metabolic rate. How they're going to get in shape, how they're going to recover after exercise. Is it going to be that style? Is that what we're talking about?
Definitely.
Wow.
That's the level that we can take it to.
Okay.
As well. For those that want to have that ultimate Cyro experience, we can most definitely take it to that level. Because we're working with partners like AC Milan, our ambassadors, Adam Peaty, Olympic gold medalist, as well. We have Ramna Ali, who is also an Olympic athlete, working very closely with them, is also tapping into their knowledge. As professional athletes, what is important to them when they travel, because they need to perform at an absolute peak level, particularly when you're talking about competing in Olympics or AC Milan, and what are they doing? And being able to then tap into a lot of that knowledge, and then taking that knowledge and incorporating that into our offering for our guests, and also including technology as part of that. So a lot of the technology around sports science will also be incorporated into our guest experience, and ultimately then our homeowner experience, because we are also going to be offering residential as part of the Cyro brand.
Oh wow! So there's going to be residential apartments effectively sell under Cyro.
Yep, there will be.
Is that an exclusive first on the podcast then? Or is it already out there?
Might be actually. It
wow.
could well be.
So Cyro is going to be launching in the UAE, worldwide.
That's right. So the very first property will be opening at the end of this year.
Okay.
Cyro Wanzabil here in Dubai, which is very, very exciting, and we're super excited about the ability to now welcome everybody to the brand, having talked about it.
Okay.
And launching it a little under a year ago. We do have the very first Cyro branded residences and hotel and resort opening in Montenegro, Cyro Boca Place. So that will be opening probably early to mid next year.
And that's part of your job, isn't it? You will go and do due diligence with the Kerzner team to effectively find locations where you think your brand can be placed.
Exactly.
That is a crazy job you've got there.
It's very exciting, because with all of our brands, we're strategically growing the brands across the world, and it's very much of looking at what brand suits which destination, working with our development partners, and then determining, is it resort hotel standalone? Will we consider doing residential in that particular market? So we're taking all of those considerations as part of our overall program for designing and building all of these resorts and hotels.
So it's quite interesting from Kerzner's point of view. Now, some of your, I'm not going to call them competitors, but other brands in the market. So for instance, in London, Raffles is launching its own residences, and who else have I seen? I was looking at brand, it's weird that so I was looking at branded residences yesterday, and the reason I was looking at branded residences, we have a place in Earl's Court when we go back to the UK. So we use that as our family home for the summer. And my mind changed about 6 months ago, and this is after I bought the Atlantis. I said, do you know what, as an owner, as a family man, when I go back to the UK, I now want the concierge and the pool. And the things that you actually take for granted in Dubai, if you go to London and you can be in it, we're in zone 1, we're in one of the best locations you can get. We're one stop from Harrods. But when I enter the house, I enter into a dark hallway and I go up to the first floor to get, and it's a lovely place, but then you compare it to what else is coming into the market. Have you seen, as Kerzner, a massive gap for branded residences?
There's certainly a very strong demand for that now, for branded residential product. And as you say, the conveniences and the hassle-free living that branded residences, and particularly with the way that our Kerzner model works, are so appealing. And we find with our Kerzner branded residences that it's really an extension for our guests of not only staying with our resorts, but now they have the opportunity to live with us. So the experience that a guest would have here at Atlantis The Royal can now be duplicated by them also owning a branded residences here. So that can extend to all of the operational requirements, such as you can get in-room dining at any time, 24 hours a day, housekeeping, engineering, any assistance you need. But also, as part of our Kerzner branded residential model, we believe it's important to provide the full service to all of our homeowners. So that extends into property and asset management, homeowners association governance, financial management as well. So we want to ensure that we're able to deliver the same experience to our homeowners as we do to our guests, but taking into consideration the experience for a homeowner also includes everything around owning real estate. Is we want to ensure that we provide those services to our homeowners, and our team, from our general manager to our directors of residences or directors of private homes, are fully trained around not only the operational part, which is generally what most of our homeowners seek when they're looking for a branded residence and those conveniences, but it's then also the actual maintenance and management of my assets. So going to ensure that what my home at Atlantis The Royal is always going to be exactly the same as what we would see here at the hotel, for example.
If you don't understand the experience, and then you don't understand what you get. And I think we talked off camera, because I was actually the first person to collect the keys for the Atlantis The Royal.
I saw that actually.
Yeah, I was the first person to collect
Congratulations.
Well, as soon as I got your final payment due, I was sending the money and I was like, right, I'm ready, when can I have the key? And the reason I want to touch on that is people want to know what you get with the Kerzner experience or the Atlantis experience. And unless you're in it, and this is for me talking, I've been in real estate since the age of 16. I'm 37 next month. And I've done everything in real estate imaginable. But when I sat down with your team, I thought, wow, this is what people want. And I'll tell you what happened. I sat down, and Rissa, who is the head of residences for the Atlantis, she's ex-Four Seasons, I believe.
And Ritz-Carlton.
So the standard of quality of staff working there was incredible. When I sat down, it's the basic stuff. They sat down and said, here's a digital form for you. When you pull up, how would you like your shopping taken, to your door or to your room? Would you like your shoes polished on a weekly, daily basis? What newspapers would you like? If you have any keys or card, who can gain access, who can't gain it? And I had to fill out these 2 sheets, and I thought to myself, wow, like this is ultra luxury. And I think that's what the residences is about, really. It's about making it convenient for the homeowners to live that hotel lifestyle in your own personal space.
That's right. And it's also how intuitive that process is as well. So as part of Rissa and her team here, and at our other properties with our director of residences, to know and understand our homeowners, what are your preferences when you stay there as well. So that's equally so important to us. And what we do with Kerzner as well is not only the actual property that you own, but we also have a global community of homeowners as well. So we believe that it's very important to establish a community within all of the Kerzner properties. So our homeowners from one and only Mandarin in Mexico are able to communicate with and participate in events and activities with our one and only homeowners from La Saint Jean, Mauritius, or even here at Atlantis The Royal Residences. So we're also very heavily focused around creating that community experience, not just the independent real estate ownership, because the brand is global, our company is global, and we're heavily focused on ensuring that those experiences that are available to you when you stay here at Atlantis The Royal or other Kerzner properties are available to you when you're not staying. And so, like you say, when you go back to London over the summer for those 3 months, that you're still connected to those properties.
Well, you've got the app on your phone. So one of the things I made you download, for anyone that's watching this, just show how cool the branded residence is. I sat down and went, okay, download this app. So I downloaded the app, and I'm looking at it, and you can order room service from the hotel to your apartment. You can get you, I think it's, I don't know what the price per hour is, but you can get the Atlantis staff, the cleaners, to come and clean your apartment. That just blew my mind. I was like, wow, this is, and obviously they have a key at your front door, so you don't need to wait for them to come in. The residence's concierge let the cleaners in. Everything about it, I was just like, wow, this is legitimate. So massive well done to you guys.
Thank you.
Well done.
And we're truly appreciative of how much you're enjoying being a homeowner here as well, and being able to have all of those experiences as a guest would experience when they're staying at a property, that you also get everything that you would have staying as a homeowner.
Last question I've got for wrap up the probably best podcast location we've had. What's next for Kerzner? Have you got any launches coming up, Dubai specifically? Because I know we've got Montenegro, you said it was?
That's right.
Coming up. Anything new in Dubai coming up that obviously you can't tell me what it is, I'm sure, but do you see Dubai as a focal point for Kerzner as a group to invest in for residences?
Most definitely. I mean, Dubai as a real estate market, if we just look at that for a moment, is so resilient, and there's just continual growth in this market, both in terms of transactions that are occurring, what we're seeing in terms of market value. I think last year Dubai actually led globally the luxury real estate market in terms of price appreciation. So this is a very exciting, a very important market for Kerzner. In terms of openings, we have both one and only Wanzabil and Cyro Wanzabil opening later this year. One and only Wanzabil includes private homes there that we're very, very excited about as well.
Do you know what I love about the one and only is the Cantilever? Obviously the Cantilever is and maybe you can touch on this a little more than me, because obviously this is your baby, but me reading and understanding it, it's the largest cantilever connecting the buildings in the world, but you've got Michelin star restaurants in the middle of it and a pool on the top.
Yeah.
That's just
it's
mind-blowing.
It's incredible, isn't it?
It's mind-blowing.
I've been fortunate enough to walk through the building,
okay.
even though now they're working on the fit out and it's very close to being finished, but it's just going to be unbelievable, and it will be something that once you've had the chance to see it and feel it and experience it, it's going to be like no other.
It was a risky location, you know. This is my honest thought on it. So when I first got presented about it, I was like, whoa, how do you quantify the location? Because you see it on a map and you go, oh, where is it? Is it the IFC? Is it Sheikh Zayed Road? And when I drove there, you see that this is going to be like the Atlantis. It's a resort within the resort that is on Sheikh Zayed Road and the IFC connections. It's
incredible. And it's actually an urban resort, as we would describe it. So everything that's going to be on offer there for our guests, for our homeowners, will be very similar to what our guests would experience when they stay at any of our one and only resorts around the world. So we're very excited about it, and stay tuned.
Definitely.
We'll make sure we get you to the Cantilever.
Please do. If you're looking for branded residences, Kerzner Group is where you need to be, because this is the super luxury defined residences. So thank you very much for watching. Cheers, guys.